President Trump has been briefed on this shooting here in Tokyo. He will be leaving his hotel shortly to meet with business leaders and U.S. Embassy staff on this second day on his nearly 2-week trip to Asia. The president spent his first day here with Japan's prime minister, where the two hit the links. They had dinner while discussing everything from North Korea to trade. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts has been traveling with the president, joins us live with the latest, and obviously this shooting takes precedent now.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that's knocking everything off of the headlines at this point in time. And we're told, Brett, that the president was up early, and clearly he was because we saw him on Twitter monitoring the developments here in this tragic shooting. He was briefed several times, according to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the press secretary, about this. He also spoke with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who, as Brian Yettis pointed out, is on his way down to the scene there. I expect that they're probably holding that press conference until the governor arrives. The president taking to Twitter this morning to say, quote, "May God be with the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas. The FBI and law enforcement are on the scene. I am monitoring the situation from Japan." Clearly, this is going to weigh heavily on the president as he begins day 2 of his trip to Asia.
Heading to dinner with the Japanese Prime Minister, President Trump predicted it will be a busy Monday in Japan, a narrow amount of time to tackle some big issues.
We are in the midst of having very major discussions on many subjects, including North Korea and trade and other things, and we're doing very well.
Trade and North Korea will dominate the president's trip to Asia. At his first stop in Japan, the Yokota Air Force Base west of Tokyo.
At ease. At ease. Just sit there.
President Trump praised the strength of American and Japanese forces, sending an implicit warning to North Korean leaders.
No one, no dictator, no regime, and no nation should underestimate ever American resolve. Every once in a while in the past, they underestimated us. It was not pleasant for them, was it? It was not pleasant.
As an exclamation point, the president touted America's success driving ISIS from its headquarters in Raqqa, drawing wild applause.
And we've dealt ISIS one brutal defeat after another, and it's about time.
So far on this trip, the president's tone toward North Korea has been measured, a departure from many of his past statements, and one Democratic leader's hope continues.
I'd like to think that we would exhaust every diplomatic remedy because we're poking a stick in the eye of a mad dog with some of what we're saying.
In addition to talks with Shinzo Abe, Korea's Moon Jae-in, and Xi Jinping of China, President Trump hopes to enlist more help from Russia in dealing with North Korea, announcing he will likely meet with Vladimir Putin at the APEC conference in Vietnam this week. The other burr under the president's saddle, the trade deficit the U.S. is running with all 5 nations he'll visit.
We will seek new opportunities for cooperation and commerce, and we will partner with friends and allies to pursue a free and open Indo-Pacific region. We will seek free, fair, and reciprocal trade.
President Trump's trip will be the longest presidential trip to East Asia since President George H.W. Bush a quarter of a century ago. As the president was leaving, Bush took aim at him in an upcoming book, saying, quote, "I don't know much about him, but I know he's a blowhard, and I'm not too excited about him being a leader." George W. Bush also weighed in, saying, quote, "I'm worried that I will be the last Republican president." Speaking with the travel pool aboard Air Force One, President Trump showed rare restraint, refusing to hit back against the attacks, telling reporters, quote, "I don't need headlines. I don't want to make their move successful."
The president does have a very busy day here in Tokyo. In addition to that speech that he's going to give to U.S. and Japanese business leaders who make a courtesy call on the Emperor and Empress, he's got a bilateral meeting with Shinzo Abe in which they'll talk about trade and security in the North Korea problem. Then he meets with the families of Japanese citizens who were abducted by North Korea. And then he tops it all off with a press conference at about midnight Eastern time. But, Brett, I think it's safe to say that this shooting in Texas is going to be top of mind as well for the president.
Yeah, I mean, when you're president, events happen and you have to react to them. And obviously he's reacting to this. Hard to overstate, though, John, the importance of this trip over the 12 days.
It's exceedingly important because what the president needs to do is he needs to build support to try to get North Korea to pull back on its nuclear program. The president has said the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is his ultimate goal. But Kim Jong-un, I'm told by many people in the know, sees nuclear weapons as his only means of his regime's survival. So it's going to take some very difficult negotiations to try to get him to back off.
All right, John, thank you.